for their series against Minnesota. Detroit's Tim Hardaway Jr. fouled on a three-point shot as time expired against the Knicks in Game 4. Both games were decided by 1 point. Pistons coach J.B. Bickerstaff.
The guy leaves his feet. There's contact on Tim Hardaway's jump shot. I don't know any other way around it. There's contact on his jump shot. The guy leaves his feet. He's at Timmy's mercy. And I repeat, there's contact on his jump shot.
NBA playoffs last night. The Cavaliers beat Miami 138-83 to sweep the series in 4 games. The 55-point win, the most lopsided in NBA playoff history. Cleveland will face either Indiana or Milwaukee in the semifinals. The Cavaliers have home court advantage the first game no earlier than this Saturday. Save big when you bundle auto and home, renters, or condo with Progressive. That's the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Spring into deals and save on seasonal projects at Lowe's. Right now, get 4 select 8-pack annuals for just $10. Plus, get a free 60-volt Toro battery when you purchase a select 60-volt Toro electric mower. Don't miss out on these fresh spring savings. Shop in-store or online today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 4/30 while supplies last. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. Excludes Alaska.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Get the SportsGrid mobile app and get gaming strategies and information faster than you can say, "No, honey, I know how to gamble," when your wife asks for $10 to get a scratcher. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
The only place in football where the offense is always on the field is on Moneyline. With the 2 best hosts in radio, Donnie Rightside.
If anybody wasn't watching, listen, I don't know what you were doing.
And Kevin Walsh.
Forget act like you've been there before.
On the SportsGrid Radio Network, Sirius XM Channel 159.
The best hour every day now officially underway. It is Moneyline on a Tuesday. It's Donnie Rightside. It's Kevin Walsh. It's a Sirius XM Channel 159 crew all ready to go. And tonight, it's Quadzilla. And I don't mean A.J. Dillon of the Philadelphia Eagles. I mean Quadzilla in the NBA. 6 o'clock, 7:30, 8:30, and 10 o'clock tonight. 3 closeout situations, and then maybe the best overall series in the NBA with the Clippers and the Nuggets as we get on. It's ready to rock and roll tonight, Kevin. We'll see how many of these series get extended.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think. Do you think it is going to go 3-0 to the teams with the chance to close the door? All of them are at home. No. I don't either. But it's a matter of
better percentages.
Do you grab the dogs? Do you just grab all dogs money line? Like, I'm trying to figure out the pathway here.
No, the pathway is tough because here's how you play it out, too, because closeout situations are unique in themselves because you're saying the right things, right? Closeout situations all by home teams, which means like the Bucks. We just had a devastating injury to Damian Lillard. Like, they're probably going like, we can't win anything now. That's a tough environment to bet into when you're going to back a team on the road in a closeout situation. The Detroit Pistons, man, we probably already should have swept the Knicks. Now we find ourselves only winning 1 game. They got 3, and now we got to go back to the Garden. That's a tough scenario. The Orlando Magic, who are like, you know what? Why do we even win game number 3 to get beaten game number 4? Now we got to go back to Boston. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here? So when you're talking about optimum betting scenarios, it's tough to say, like, no, I do think one of these teams wins. And then you're right. Like, well, which team does? You're like, good luck with that, man.
Yeah. No, I think you've understandably set it up, right? Let's devil's advocate it here.
Yep.
If you're the Bucks, hey, man, we're cooked anyway. We might as well play with our hair on fire.
Yes.
You know, guns a-blazing. We have nothing to lose. Maybe you got an A1 effort. Pistons. We are legitimately better than this team. Now, I don't think that, but they could tell themselves that. If we win tonight, like, they're going to feel the pressure. Like, these guys know that they're skating by on the skin of their teeth. Maybe. Orlando, you just got to hope Boston doesn't show up. Now, which they might not. We've seen that from the Celtics in years prior.
Fisticuffs.
So I hope that is the case. I have bets, Donnie, on the Celtics in 6 exactly, as well as the Pacers in 6 exactly.
Yep.
There's almost a part of me, I don't know if the payout's good enough. I've not clicked it. That wonders if I play a Pacers Magic Moneyline parlay to basically cover the combination of those wagers, if that would be worth doing. Because I didn't risk a ton on those numbers as is. So that was just something I was considering.
It's so tough to, because again, you're looking at, some decent numbers like, hey, can the Bucks stay within 8? Hey, can the Pistons keep it close, which they've basically done the entire series, or the Magic staying within double digits, a legitimate chance for that. If you said right now, like, forget about handicaps, just looking at like price points, to be honest, like the Pistons are still young, like being in the playoffs, and same thing with the Magic. But I can see like the Magic just slugging along and staying within double digits. I'm worried a little bit about the Pistons because that game could go two ways for me, Kevin, where it's like first quarter, second, like, hey, the Pistons are up 11 at the break. And I'm like, that doesn't surprise me. Or the Pistons are down 18 at half. And you're like, well, they just gave up, should have got that foul call. Series going to be tough now to come back, and you just had that avalanche. The one way I do like from a betting perspective, Milwaukee for me, I don't think they win this game. And quite frankly, there's more of a chance for me that I would bet the Pacers laying the 8.7.5 points. And I think they win by double digits. But the one thing I do know is, like, we're not going to get a Tyler Hero performance out of Giannis Antetokounmpo tonight, where it's a complete no-show sellout, minus 44. I can't wait to hit the club. Thank God basketball's over. Let me spend some of this money and get on my Instagram account. Like, I think Giannis is going to bring it tonight, which means 25-plus shots from the court, Kevin, 30-plus points here, 17 rebounds in a losing effort. But Giannis isn't going out like I don't feel like playing in this basketball game.
I fully agree with you. Can we just stick on the Heat for a second?
Sure.
Hero was obviously awful. Is he when you think about the Heat performance, is that the first thing that comes to your mind? Like, if we were doing a blame pie, would you?
Yes, because I look at the plus minus, and it was just so outrageous. Did you even want to play? Because my old joke, along with Tyler Hero, is like the off the court stuff. Like, man, I play basketball for a living. Like, I really live the party, though. Like, and get the season over with. Let me get to the club, and this is going to be great. And we'll rebuild for next year. Like, yes, I blame Tyler Hero.
So obviously, again, he was beyond bad on game number 4. For me, Donnie, if the Miami Heat announced today they fired Eric Spoelstra, I'd have their back. You
best
cannot
coach in the NBA.
You can't do. I'm the best coach in basketball. Lead the NBA in blown double-digit leads. Be 8 games under 500. Have absolutely no grasp of this basketball team throughout the Jimmy Butler situation, after the Jimmy Butler situation. And then, set NBA records. First team that's ever lost consecutive playoff games, I believe it is, by 30 points. And they were both on your home court. Like, season on the line. Hey, listen, I know it's bad, but we're Heat culture. And you get 50 balled? Nah, man. I think it is. Again, there's so much blame to go around, but nobody, Donnie, is arguing that like Tyler Hero's a top 20 player. Bam Adebayo's in a weird spot. I still think I could get NBA coach ranks that might be willing to put Spoelstra at 1. He had one of the worst seasons of any coach in the NBA, period.
And now you see like they got $65 million to deal with. They're going to be awesome by the time who you spend that money on down there, Miami? Good luck with doing that, even though it is a destination city. But I'm with you on that because there are ways to say, well, Donnie and Kevin, what did you want them to do? That was the number 1 seed Cleveland, and they were up. Well, did you watch Memphis at home without their best player, like fight tooth and nail against the best team in the NBA? And quite frankly, probably could have won both of those games with 6, 7 quarters without Ja Morant. That's what you're looking at. Now, if it would have been blown out, it's 8. But they didn't even show up. Like, I was saying, like, the fans that, you sort of buy into a team. It's like, hey, Miami Heat's not that good. Okay, we're in the playoffs. Let's see what happens. You show up in game number 3, you get waxed. Like, I don't even feel like watching game number 4. But as a fan, you will show up and watch game number 4. You're like, just give me something to believe in. Just how about a first quarter set? How about up at the half up 1? Yeah. Into the third quarter, being competitive. Because then the fandom starts to kick in, Kevin, and says, hey, if we can get this game, now, there's no pressure on game number 5. We probably get beat, but you know what? If we can win that game and extend the series, understanding they're probably not going to do it, but I'm talking as a fan. You showed up to that game in that building, got your beer, got your hot dogs, got your pretzels, paid for your parking. Like, you know what? I just want to be a fan tonight. And who knows what's going to happen? Just give me something to cheer about. They got waxed from the jump as if it was like Kevin, predetermined. We don't want to be here, and we're sorry, fans. We're not going to be here.
Yeah, no, and Darius Garland, by the way, misses both of those games.
Correct. Yes.
Like an all-star level starter on this team. And here's the thing, I think in our business, if you pick a team to win a title and they play like this, you're going to victory lap. Like, I don't know if you know this, Donnie. I picked the Cavs to win the title heading into the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about the Cavs. It would feel ridiculous if I were to sit here and be like, see, I told you the Cavs are the greatest team in the history of basketball. What Miami did in these 2 games in South Beach, like if Pat Riley's like, no, everyone is fired, everyone is traded, and we're going to win 4 games next year because I want none of you in my organization, I might get it. I might understand how that happens.
Spo, the best. I mean, that guy was in the basement breaking down film for years, and now look at him shine right now. And again, it wasn't as if it was like, tough season at this. Yes, Jimmy Butler was a tough situation. He finished under 500 and didn't even show a pulse. So, Donnie, they won 2 playing games. Yeah, come on now with this. And it's all those playing games. They might as well just lost the first playing game and said, we don't want anything to do with getting into the playoffs the way they performed against the Cleveland Cavaliers. More hot topics next. A lot of good stuff to go over today, too. How about that? Caravan back to UConn. Huge.
Download the SportsGrid mobile app.
Just do it. You might as well get it.
We're not going to shut up about it until you do.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
With the SportsGrid News Flash, I'm Trey Westerberg. Consumers across the U.S. will still be able to buy higher ethanol blend E15 gasoline this summer, according to the Environmental Protection Agency. The emergency waiver issued by the EPA prevents retailers in most states from having to stop selling E15 gasoline on May 1st. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin signaled that he plans to keep issuing waivers through September 15th. The U.S. government is reversing the termination of legal status for international students around the country after many filed court challenges against the Trump administration crackdown, according to federal officials. The records in a federal student database maintained by Immigration and Customs Enforcement had been terminated in recent weeks. Judges across the U.S. had already issued orders temporarily restoring students' records in dozens of lawsuits challenging the terminations. I'm Trey Westerberg with the SportsGrid News Flash.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/apply. That's ethos.com/apply.
Let's make something crystal clear. The winning edge has nothing to do with increasing good luck. Luck has nothing to do with it. It's sports gaming strategies and information. You want luck? Flip a coin. You want to win?
Flip it here.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
We'll get to more of these NBA handicaps tonight. Quadruple header starting at 6 o'clock tonight with the Milwaukee Bucks and the Indiana Pacers, followed by Pistons Knicks, Magic Celtics, and the Clippers Nuggets has been absolutely tremendous. And I do have some talking points on that series as well that we will get to. And then, of course, yesterday, the Houston Rockets, they did get the cover, which is the important thing. I thought they could do that, but they didn't win the game. Now they're down 3-1. We'll have more NBA action a little bit later, but still some fallout from the draft that's taking place here, Kevin. You know what the big fallout is? Did you see the New Orleans Saints news this morning? Did you see any Saints news?
No, I think I missed this.
They released a quarterback since they got Tyler Shook. A little bit too, many quarterbacks in the room, so one had to get released. And I don't know if you knew what their backup quarterback situation was, did you?
Ian Book?
Manny and Book. Let me give you a hint here. Watch this.
All right, here we go.
All right. Now, not the
Here we
same
go.
team, but this guy just got
Uh-huh.
released this morning.
No.
Legend
I
got
didn't even know
released.
he was there.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a heartbreaker for
Slippery.
you.
I was. I saw it, a retweet. I still don't believe in that. Like, because he can't have that many followers. And I know that he's probably seen over the years where I used to have it hanging up like in a jersey on the wall, which now is Hurts and Josh Allen. He used to be up there. So, like, I'm surprised I haven't got like a DM from him. Like, hey, man, thanks for the support all these years. Like, I think I'm the only one in media that cares about Ben DiNucci. Or when he tweets out something, I make sure to recognize it and hit a retweet. Maybe he watches the early line. Maybe he watches like Moneyline, but just like, I'm a pro. I can't really like comment on that because we don't do that until like after we're done or unless we're really secure in our job. But I feel like he should be able to reach out and we should be able to talk to the guy. And I have to explain myself, like why I'm a huge Eagles fan, why I have a DiNucci jersey, and how we went down that path. Like I figure like he would get a kick out of that, but I don't know if he wants to talk about that yet. Maybe until everything's done.
Well, it was the highlight of his life or the low moment of his life, right? I mean,
it was one of the low moments of my bet. Yeah, the high moment of his life, the low moment of my betting life. So it sort of like was like one big night, like forced into one, which again was cheering for a Cowboys angle, which the Eagles won that game that night, rightfully so. But I'll never forget.
Score game.
I think it might have been a scoop and score game. Yeah, I think it might have been. But the Cowboys only had this. The Cowboys, I think, got like an early fumble early on, maybe punching a touchdown. What was the team total? Like 11.5, 9.5. It was like something outrageously low in that game, which they didn't hit. And again, they got in the red zone late in the game, meaningless, and couldn't score a touchdown. So I was losing my mind. But I'll never forget like his first pass in that game, and I knew I was in trouble. Like right off the break, I'm like, this kid can't be that bad where he can't get 10 points in an NFL game. And I think they got like the 6 or the 3 early on, or maybe even a touchdown. I can't remember how the game played out, and it didn't hit. And I'm like, I have to buy his jersey. It's just to remember that moment for the rest of my life where it's like, when you have those leap of faith situations, like it looks good, I think I can make it work, don't do it. So that's why I have a Ben DiNucci jersey, which I explained to Ben again this morning because he couldn't believe I had the jersey, but I had to show it to him. So I left it out because he did get cut, and that's a big deal for me. Shame on Ben DiNucci.
Most random athlete betting story is now the question that comes to mind. And I can't like, there's not something, immediately at the front of the brain that, I don't know. Like the DiNucci one is obviously special because you are so tied to it while it wasn't even a win. You're like, I can't believe I bet on this guy.
Yes.
I'm trying to think where that comes in for me. I don't know. Like we were like, this guy will get it going. And then it just
backup quarterback, a backup player. I think this guy will step up because we've all had moments where it's like, was it early on this year with Jahan Dotson? Might have been like evening, like game number 1 or game number 2, third wide receiver. And Brandon Covey was getting all his looks. And I'm like, this is this is one of the more outrageous things I've seen.
Yeah.
Again, it doesn't really compare to like DiNucci back in the day because you are betting on a singular player that you should dominate. Not even like a pitcher. I don't even know how it could compare. Like a third string quarterback that's never supposed to be in the NFL shows up and he's starting an NFL game. Like he can't be that bad where they can't get the double digits. This wasn't even like a bone crushing Eagles defense. And the way that went down, I was like, I need to memorialize this night. And it was the perfect, absolute way to do that. It really was.
The Ray Davis bet, like I know, again, I don't want to put Ray Davis in the Ben DiNucci category, but it was over like 9.5 rushing yards. You know what I mean? And you're going to battle with Lisi, then all of a sudden he didn't come in like much after winning that wager. That's one that comes to mind.
Was it him or was it Cook? Who was the guy that got benched early in the game? It wasn't.
No.
You're thinking about a different game then?
Yes. No, James Cook is got benched. The books thought he would never play football again.
Half a yard.
Yes. That's like year number 1 IGL. Yeah. Year 2 was when I was on Ray Davis, the backup, to get through like an 8.5 number. And Lisi started rooting against me. And he was like, stuff him. But he got in like a first down, which was like that's one that comes to mind. Just like a really, backup guy over a low number. Hope it can get in there. I had an Ezekiel Tovar home run prop that people were like, wow. Not bad. Plus, it was back when Dinger Tuesday was real.
Cash?
Yeah. It was good. That's why I remember.
It's not, or Donovan Edwards, who barely gets to rock. At least he's like, this is my go-to guy in the biggest game of the year, and he ran wild at that point. I mean, there's some good. By the way, the fact that we're on the show on those Thursday and Monday night games where Lisi gives up on a player, and just to say it's a running back, and he's 80 yards, he's got like 30. He'll run up the middle and just hear Lisi go, concussion, man. Just got a concussion. Like, you can barely see the TV. You just diagnosed a concussion on a random running play up the middle. Like, that's like his tap out MO is the injury at that point. Just got hurt. God just got a concussion out there.
But then you deal with Lisi also. This is good how we get into this, right? If they dare show anyone on the sidelines twice. Oh, all right, great. Like, we need to see his mom again. All right, that's fine. I guess that's what we're doing now. Really, let's go. Move it along here.
Like, we can have a whole Lisi hour at this point, but this is like one of my favorite. One of my favorite things of all time, though, was like Lisi identifies players like Juwan Jennings. Bets him for like 2 weeks. It's too hot now. Like I can't even fade. Like I go away from Joe. He's the leading wideout in San Francisco now. Good for everybody else, not good for me anymore at this point. It's the way it is, people. Moneyline, it's the way we get down to business, and more business ahead. What's going on today?
Get the SportsGrid mobile app. It's much easier to carry than your lucky horseshoe.
And you won't get stopped at the airport.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
The SportsGrid Radio Network presents This Date in Sports History.
1986, Roger Clemens strikes out 20 Mariners.
Clemens has set a major league record for strikeouts in a game. What a performance by the kid from the University of Texas.
Clemens won 7 Cy Young Awards in his career and 2 World Championships. The Rocket has 354 career wins, but remains isolated from the Hall of Fame because of steroid allegations. For SportsGrid Radio, I'm Mike DeMurgis.
The Technology Minute with George Capalvo.
A new jet lag study of 60,000 trips by normal travelers finds getting up early to catch our flight.
Sorry, you're already late.
Makes jet lag worse. To beat the 2-day average recovery time, try at breakfast exposing yourself to bright sunlight while pounding hot coffee. Or right after you land, have a big night out. And finally, a rather bizarre Cornell University study has found shining bright light on the back of your kneecaps for 3 hours stimulates previously unknown circadian photoreceptors until you fall asleep. Follow me at Capalvo on X and stay tuned to The Technology Minute for more cool stuff like this.
Football full circle.
If we're looking at Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel side by side, it's not even close. You would have to say Shedeur is the much better pocket passer and just pure quarterback over Dylan Gabriel, hands down. The fact that they shocked the world and pulled the trigger on Dylan Gabriel is just a head scratcher. You could have probably gotten Dylan Gabriel on Sunday afternoon.
It's Football Full Circle with Ben Stevens and Joe Lisi. Weekdays noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on the SportsGrid Radio Network.
There are too many people addicted to their phones these days, unless it's to look or listen to the SportsGrid mobile app.
In fact,
you should delete all your apps but ours.
Your wife texts you too much anyway.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Days away from May. By the way, Vic Ferrari here in the chat box. Let's talk about the actual title winner, your Indiana Pacers. Sorry.
Whoa!
On his shot with Pacers tonight. JP's calling his shot behind the scenes right now, apparently.
Yeah, what's he doing?
There you go. I don't know. Sounds like M&M's. What do you think it was? M&M's?
High chopsticks was the first thing that came to mind for me.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
By the way, you ever have Virginia peanuts, like Virginia boiled peanuts? Delicious.
No. Why?
Yeah. Go check them out at your store. Let a fiance to pick you up a couple Virginia
peanuts.
You
and your ridiculous diet, man. And enough of this.
Good.
I already got the weight loss plan of the century figured out. I just got to execute it. No. Now, all I got to do, cut out ice cream.
Okay.
I just can't do it yet.
Yeah.
I just can't
Look, everybody.
Like
you got to go cold turkey.
I will lose 15 pounds in a month if I just stop, and I can't stop. I can't.
I used to eat around the clock, and I loved every minute of it. Like, food is God's gift to the human, body at that point, where it's like when you wake up, I just want to eat a good breakfast. I want to have a good snack. I want to have a big lunch. I want to have another snack. I want to have dinner, and then I'm watching the game on Monday Night Football. It's 9:30. Bust open that fridge for some strawberry ice cream and a ton of Jimmy's sprinkled on top there. Like, that was like my life. Yeah. And drinking like alcohol and all that stuff and Monsters every day. Like, there's nothing hit harder for me. I used to wake up in the morning, and the first thing I did was come down to my studio, and I would crack open a Monster, but I would have the Monster in a Yeti glass or Yeti tumbler filled with ice. And it was the most satisfying, 15, 20 minutes, like just sipping on that and like breaking down games. So satisfying. I do miss that, though. Saved my teeth and my body, but yeah, I do miss that.
Did it, though? I don't. The missus is big into the Red Bull. Never got into the Red Bull.
Love caffeine.
I never got into the Red Bull.
I gave up caffeine cold turkey. Like, I've been at caffeine for what? We're coming up on like 18, 19 months, I guess, that I've been fasting, no cheating, and no caffeine, no soda, no nothing like that. But I found a little niche where it's fantastic. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up, too, is like, look, the women in your life out there, guys, it's a little bit different than, guys just being guys. No matter what, they're always looking to drop a couple pounds, go on diets and stuff like that. But I have and it's not a brag. All throughout my life, Kevin, I've had amazing willpower. Like, when I set my mind to something, I do it, and it's complete until it's done. Like, I used to have hardcore diets in college where, I'm still eating like 5 to 6 times a day, but I'm always hungry. Like, you never can have any sugar and all that stuff. So but willpower gets you through stuff. So, but the wife will come up like, like every week, and she doesn't have to lose any weight, but it's always, they're always like, I want to lose like 3, 4, 5 pounds or do this like that. And and we get in the fights out this. I said, look, you know how to do this. You see the way I fast. It's easy. Eat whatever you want for breakfast, not whatever, but just have a little breakfast, some coffee, have a snack, and then have like a meal at like 3 o'clock. And then don't eat the rest of the day. It's the cheat code for looing weight. Do that for a couple weeks, you'll lose it. But she doesn't have the same willpower I do, and we immediately fight. Like, whenever I hear it come up, and she'll be like, you know what? I'm looking to go on a diet. And then we lock eyes with each other, and she's like, don't start right now, because it can never be like what I have. But willpower for me has never been a problem. Like, you giving up ice cream, like, I could give it up cold turkey. Straight up, boom, done.
You know what? Listen, I sound like an addict. I could give it up. I just choose not to. It is kind of the situation there. Here's the crazy thing, and I stand by this. I refuse to accept that your way of eating is actually healthy. I refuse to accept it. I don't think it is. I don't. Me and Lacey had to carry you out on a gurney during one playoff show. Like, you were pissed.
I was fine. I was fine.
Hey, you remember one day on radio?
But I didn't think I was fast. I wasn't even fasting at that point yet.
But I'm blaming it on that. No. We got to rewrite this.
I'll be back in the next 15 minutes. Why? What's wrong? I don't think I can see right now. And I reappeared back on that 2-hour show in a half hour. And the wife's like, what are you doing at this point? I go, I can't see out of my left eye. Let me do it 15 minutes. I'll get back on the air. Yeah.
I'm telling you. Donnie texted me right away like, hey, can you see this text? Please take it. But I wasn't reading my phone. I was just in the segment. I was just in the segment.
Like, and if people don't know, you can't go back to the show. But let me understand. I'm going to tell the people how it opened up. Yeah, right here, Moneyline, 2 hours, best 2 hours of your day. Kevin Walsh, Donnie right side. Let's start with the Celtics. Kevin, what do you think about the Celtics?
Donnie goes, I just need to lay down for 5 minutes.
Oh,
he came back.
Let's keep the good stories going, man. That's what we do. We'll be back.
This is the place.
This This is where you'll get expert perspectives and sports gaming strategies 24/7.
And it's free.
Beat that, you cheap. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Progressive presents the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders. NBA playoffs tonight. The Bucks have their backs against the wall as they head into Indianapolis for Game 5. The Pacers up 3-1 in the opening round series. Milwaukee took a big hit in Game 4. Damian Lillard was injured. He'll be out with a torn Achilles tendon. Bucks coach Doc Rivers.
This is a tough one, honestly. Blood clot, followed by this. It's just tough.
The Knicks are looking to close out the Pistons tonight. New York up 3-1. They can wrap things up at home. Meanwhile, the Celtics can eliminate the Magic in Boston tonight. The Celtics lead the series 3-1. In Denver, it'll be the Nuggets and the Clippers. Game 5, the series tied at 2-2. The winner advances to face Western Conference top seed Oklahoma City. Save big when you bundle auto and home, renters, or condo with Progressive. That's the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders.
Spring into deals and save on seasonal projects at Lowe's. Right now, get 4 select 8-pack annuals for just $10. Plus, get a free 60-volt Toro battery when you purchase a select 60-volt Toro electric mower. Don't miss out on these fresh spring savings. Shop in-store or online today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 4/30 while supplies last. Actual plant size and selection varies by location. Excludes Alaska.
Hey there, I'm Jack.
And I'm Stag.
We're just two deer that want to make sure you know it's deer season at your authorized John Deere dealer. The deer season that saves bucks. You know, like us.
Yeah, you can get $3,000 off select John Deere machines. No early wake-up calls or tree stands required.
Just a trip to your authorized dealer before June 2nd.
If you ask us, it's the only deer season worth celebrating.
Visit johndeere.com/deer season to find an authorized dealer and for complete finance details.
If sports talk stations were buffets, we'd be the one with the line out the door where every night is rib night and you came alone because the crowd gives you a measure of cover so you won't get any grief for going back 9 times. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
A lot of topics today. Full Major League Baseball card. Some good matchups. Yesterday, Kevin had decompression day. Had a great weekend. Didn't love the card yesterday. Just decided to take the afternoon off. Nice weather. Walk the dogs. Got a good night of sleep in. Watch some TV. So today, looks like we have some pretty good options. And May is this week. And the reason I bring that up is I like the sweet spot in baseball for May. A lot of statistics in, batters and pitchers. But you know what I start now also flipping over? I don't know if you have it the same way as me right now. But thinking about football season, like the draft I thought was really good. From start to finish, I think everybody did well, which is one of the really weird feelings. Because usually you have like 5 winners and 5 idiots out there. But I think it's the fact that it wasn't a deep name draft, if you will. Like we knew the real players in the top 5, 6, but all the way through, Kevin's like, okay, yeah, good player from. It's like I can't mix that up. When you hear the real name guys, like some drafts are deep, like middle of second round, like this guy should have went like 5 overall. How did he wind up here? Oh my goodness, you got him. Like let's just say like Kobe Dean back when he went to Philadelphia Eagles out of Georgia. But I feel that the draft went really well. But the point I'm making is Thursday, Kevin, is May. Okay, that's great. The baseball, June, like we are almost, Kevin, at football season again. Which I always talk about July is like you get to camp and all that stuff, but we actually have preseason games now in July for the first time. Mm-hmm. But I feel like so many times it's like, man, football seems so long ago, and technically it does. But I am on such like a football high that it felt like that season with, again, the Eagles won. There was so much to talk about in the draft. Like, I never left football season. I'm like, man, it's right here again. When usually it's like that dark room, you would say, like, man, football's like 8 months away. We could never get there. We're almost there again.
Yeah, it has this way of sneaking up on us. I'm not going to do this thing when there's a million things on right now. It's like, oh, I miss it so much. Please come back. No, I can't stand that. I can't. Can I just throw something out? Because I thought it was interesting. So yesterday on Game Time, we had on, his name is Matt Fontana, covers the Browns and like all the Cleveland sports.
Yeah.
And it was nothing specific about Matt, but I just feel like most fans would forgive a franchise because you're a fan, so you want to be optimistic for both signing Myles Garrett and trading away Travis Hunter. And I really appreciated, he was like, no, I'm really fine with the Hunter move. I think they should acquire more assets. I have no idea what they were doing with Myles Garrett. They could have had 3 first-round picks.
Yes.
And it's crazy that they did it the way they did it. And that, to me, was like even more validating, right? You know, and I'm, you know, willing to debate anybody, but it's like, all right, so even I think a lot of the people in Cleveland could tell that, like, this wasn't smart. And I think for me now, just because I know you hone in on teams that are ran this way, where it's GM, coach, but the owner's also going to get involved. And I think that it is incredibly reasonable to say the GM drafted Dylan Gabriel and the owner drafted Shedeur Sanders. And I am now, Donnie, after that conversation and also after watching the draft play out, convinced that Andrew Berry and even Stefanski would have been totally ready to trade Myles Garrett. But the owner was absolutely, that's not happening. He's a future Hall of Famer as a Cleveland Brown. You're not trading him, and we're not trading him. And that, to me, now makes them one of the messiest teams in football, because you cannot be 50% ran by your general manager and 50% ran by your owner.
Yeah, that's the problem with ownership in the NFL. And again, the reason why owners feel the need to do that, can you imagine if there was consequences from an owner where it was like, all right, well, I'm going to pick a couple of these players, and then 4 years ago, hey, you just got relegated out of the NFL because of my personal decisions. But if the owner makes 17 straight first-round picks and they all bust, he goes, man, look how much money I made. This is amazing. Like, football's so much fun. Let me pick the next quarterback here for our team. You're right about that. And that's why I do, like, you know, the changing of my football fandom is like, man, are you trying to win championships because you're either trying, which means you have a really good football team, or you're trying to lose out to try to acquire picks to be a really good football team on top of that. I do like what Cleveland did per se overall, but I completely disagreed with the Myles Garrett, because yes, you could have 2 picks. Like, you could have Travis Hunter, you know, the defensive tackle you got, your quarterback, and another 2 wide receivers, and clear out a ton of cap space to get after it. Because it is funny with, like, the ownership group. I've used it like, hey, look, looking to trade Myles Garrett, and he goes, awesome. Like, that guy was going to cost me like $190 million. Like, we're going to trade him. What do you get back? Just assets, Mr. Smith or whoever. You don't have to pay anything back. Like, send him down the trip. That's an extra house I can buy in France now, because I don't have to pay out that much money. But I'm enjoying, like, the NFL, like, off season right now as it pertains to loving my Giants over 3.5 team total pick, which should come in next year. Thought they made themselves better overall. As long as, you know what I'm starting to get a little bit nervous of now is the Giants, which I hope that the coach and the general manager stay on the hot seat, which they should be. Every year, you know, coaches that have won championships or had much more success than these idiots there have stayed along or got fired, I should say. But I don't want to see Jackson Dart on the football field. Like, I want that bet to be, we're trying to win games, and our game plan, because, you know, they say, here's our game plan this year. We don't want to play this guy, even though deep down they're going like, look, we're just going to set that up. We hope this guy plays by like week 8 or week 9, but if he doesn't, we can cover him. Like, that was never our game plan anyway. Why would we put this guy in if he doesn't look good in practice? So for me, I would love to see Jackson Dart in like late December when they have like 4 wins. I'm like, perfect. That's the way he scripted it up. Like, I don't want it to be, hey, we're 2-6. We might as well go to the future right now, and I need 2 more wins with Jackson Dart on the Giants as a rookie. I don't want that to happen.
But that's the guy they drafted, and you're usually captain play the rookie.
Yes,
because otherwise that means he's terrible.
I do think they should. No, 100%. He should start from day number 1 for me. Like, if I run the franchise.
Okay.
Now, I have a bet. I don't want that to happen. Like, I was actually under the guys where I thought the Giants could have slow played. Like, you know what? We don't know if a quarterback's going to be available. We don't have to pay a ton of money, a lot of 1-year deals. Let's get 2 veteran quarterbacks. Because if we don't get the quarterback we want, we got to be able to win football games. But at the same time, Kevin, you draft your future quarterback. You should Russell Wilson should actually be cut. Because James like, hey, man, just need the job as a backup. I'm fine.
I am convinced that Russell Wilson has the best agent in football, I think. Or maybe second to Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
The fact that Brian Dable, after drafting this quarterback in round number 1, goes, well, Russ is our starter. It's April. Why? Donnie, I wouldn't promise Russ the job over Jameis. I'm sure you would disagree because I know you're lower on Jameis and higher on Russ. It's not. You paid Russ nothing.
Yeah.
Has never been there before. Jameis has never been in your building, so it's not like, listen, like, we know Jameis can't beat out Russell Wilson. It is infuriating to me that team is like, oh, we're promising Russ the job.
But that is just back years too?
Ridiculous. Yes.
Like, it is crazy. Like, you're going to go to the Steelers, and he goes, I have so much demand in football that when I go there, I don't care who you get, I am the starter. Okay, if that's what it's going to take. And then he did the same thing to the Giants. Like, the Giants go, we might be in the mix for a quarterback in the offseason and also in the draft.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine, but I 100% in writing, I will be the starter no matter what. Like, how's he get away with that? Like, it's not
I don't know.
Aaron Rodgers probably can do that because, of the successes he had. And I'm not saying Russ hasn't had success. He's won a Super Bowl, but just at this point of his career, it's like, how does Russ demand anything from any football team?
It's ridiculous. It is. And I almost think the only reason that they would have done that is, we don't want fans to be thinking Dart is going to be the starter. Okay, listen, I sometimes think people play up New York media too much, but let's not be ridiculous. All anyone is going to wonder is how's Dart doing in practice, how's Dart looking in preseason, how's Dart looking on the bench. You could tell the fans, hey, listen, we just snapped Dart's leg. He's unavailable this year. And they'll be like, you think he's going to be back in time for November? Just don't be ridiculous to think that promising Russ the job is going to do anything to blockade people from wondering if Dart's going to win the job.
And here's the other thing, too. This wasn't even like Shedeur Sanders is really an outlier because we've never seen that before. We'll get into it after the break. Like a 5th-round pick. You traded up in the 1st round to make sure you got your franchise guy. Then you're going to turn around and be like, this guy ain't ready. That's not a good look for anybody at this point. We'll be right back. It's Moneyline on a nice Wednesday afternoon.
Winning is not just beating the odds. It's the thing that keeps the wife smiling and your kids in respectful awe.
Oh, Father. Now cut that out.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Progressive presents the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders. Stanley Cup playoffs on Monday. The Panthers beat the Lightning 4-2. Florida, the defending Stanley Cup champs, up 3-1 in the opening round series. The Panthers scored 3 times in the 3rd period. Dallas took a 3-2 series lead over Colorado with a 6-2 win last night. Tonight, Toronto looking to close out Ottawa. The Maple Leafs up 3-1. Carolina can close out New Jersey in Raleigh tonight. The Hurricanes up 3-1. Vegas and Minnesota tied at 2-2. Game 5 tonight in Las Vegas. The Kings and Oilers are tied at 2-2. Game 5 is tonight in L.A. NBA playoffs last night. The Cavaliers beat Miami 138-83 to sweep the series in 4 games. The 55-point win, the most lopsided in NBA playoff history. Cleveland will face either Indiana or Milwaukee in the semifinals. The Cavaliers have home court advantage the first game no earlier than this Saturday. Save big when you bundle auto and home, renters, or condo with Progressive. That's the SportsGrid Sports Flash. I'm Chuck Sanders.
It's Macy's Friends and Family Sale. Hurry in for insider deals on must-have spring styles from your favorite brands, like an extra 30% off new dresses, handbags, and accessories from Karl Lagerfeld Paris, Donna Karan New York, Avec La Vie, and more. Plus, get 15% off fragrances, beauty, and skincare, too. It's not only the best time to shop for yourself, it's also the best time to shop early for Mother's Day. Don't miss Friends and Family, and Sunday at Macy's. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
At Straight Talk, we are all about no-brainers. Calling Grandma for her recipe, no-brainer. Streaming one more episode at 2 a.m., big no-brainer. Getting real unlimited data where you buy bananas, the ultimate no-brainer. Switch now and get a free Samsung Galaxy A16 5G or Moto G Power 5G 2024 with select plans. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart and StraightTalk.com. Offer valid through 5/19/25. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-source single line activation on qualifying plan. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com/terms. Copyright 2025 Verizon.
You've heard of smart bombs,
Smartphones, smart cars, smart watches, and smart glasses.
Now you can add smart player.
Giving you sports gaming strategies and information 24/7.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
We do have NBA action tonight. A quadruple header, which I love it. By the way, the people out there like, first round, blowouts. Meaningful basketball is meaningful basketball you can bet on and have some fun. Now, they didn't mean anything for the Miami Heat last night. Apparently not. But I cherish these days, Kevin, because we got 4 games tonight. You know what's going to start happening? No more 4 games. Then the most we get is 3. Then the most is 2. Then the most is 1. And then the most is one every other day or every other 2 days. NBA Finals, get ready.
days.
Play on a Monday, then play on a Thursday. It's like we're going to talk about on Tuesday and Wednesday the same NBA, game or finals game. So I do enjoy this. The same thing with the NHL. And here's where I'm going to bring up my fandom. I did watch last night because I didn't have to pay attention to baseball. The Phillies weren't on, didn't have any live wagers in, just following along. So I said, all right, there's a hockey game on right now. It's the Florida Panthers and it's Tampa Bay. And I watched for the first 5 minutes and I said to myself, I miss playoff hockey with the Flyers during their home games so much. Like I wanted to make sure I tune in because, again, I keep track of it, but I'm not really watching it per se. Last night was one of those moments where I caught myself saying, boy, because even with the Sixers who aren't playing, which we love ping pong balls in Philadelphia more than any other basketball franchise in history. Even when the Sixers are in the playoffs, I'm excited. I'm watching the entire game and I'm cheering left and right. Even if I only watch 5 of the 82 games, we'll pay attention to them, if you will, right? Like in totality. Playoffs are so much fun when your teams are in it. Like the Eagles, you enjoy the Eagles regular season. When the playoffs are there, it's like, I'm in my basement, big screen TV, leave me alone. It's time to get down to business. And watching that hockey game, I really miss all those decades where the Flyers were good in the playoffs in the springtime, along with the Phillies, and you're still waiting for football. I miss those times. I'm getting robbed. The Sixers robbed me of anything this year, and the Flyers have been robbing me for a decade, Kevin. I miss it. I do.
I had yesterday, I liked both games under. So what I played was under 11.5 goals for the slate. Now both games went over.
Oh, gotcha.
But Tampa Bay, Florida was 0-0 at the end of one. I'm like, all right, can't get better than that.
Correct.
And then it was 2-1 Tampa going into the third period. I was like, that's a little frustrating. So there was about 4 minutes left. And it was 2-1 Tampa. And I'm like, all right, worst case scenario is 5
3-1.
goals if Florida ties it. But if they don't tie it, we're going to be in a really good spot here going into the night game. The Panthers tie it. I'm like, all right. So probably before I could finish the sentence, they then go up 3-2. They then get the empty netter. They score 3 goals in 2 minutes. And I was like, yeah, we're in a bad spot now. Because the night game was projected to be, much higher scoring. And the dog scored 9 seconds into that game in Dallas. And I went, all right, so that's okay. We lose the NHL bet, is what it is. This is how it goes sometimes.
You had that NHL game last night, the Panthers Lightning game. There were 2 separate instances where 2 goals were scored 11 seconds apart. That is a lightning flash of a goal. No, I guess, pun intended. Yeah. But you're hike. You drop the face off, a couple passes, and score. Whoa, how'd that happen? Do it again. Whoa, that is crazy. It happened twice, once in the second period and once in the third period. But just as a fan perspective, if the Flyers were good, I would have been tuned in last night and every game in the playoffs. And I feel like I need that sort of back in my life. But we do have NBA action tonight, as we said. The first 3 games of focus, Bucks, Pacers, all right, Pistons, Knicks, okay, Magic, Celtics. We might even get a 3-0 sweep here for the home teams. Forget about the covering, just moving on and away you go, which really limits the damage on the next couple of days of how many games we're going to get. So I'm actually rooting for some of these teams to extend it. But the Clippers-Nuggets is so fascinating to me because I'm just going to bring up the odds once again. The conference odds, the Denver Nuggets 24-1 to win the conference. Not the NBA championship, just the conference. But if we go to the West playoff series numbers, again, I can't understand where we're getting this, Kevin. The Clippers are a -164 favorite to win this series. Nobody is injured for the Denver Nuggets. They have home court advantage over the final 3, and maybe the biggest home court advantage in basketball, not because the fans are loud, but playing an elevation where they're used to it and nobody else necessarily is. You also have the Clippers who aren't saying, okay, let's arrive on a Saturday. We don't play till Sunday night, and then we play again, so we're there 5 or 6 days. Let's get acclimated. They're basically flying in as a road team on an away game after not being in elevation. I think Denver wins tonight. I do, because I think the winner of game number 5, which is tonight, wins the series. But I don't, -164 to the Clippers. It's one of the more odd series prices I've seen, and it's blowing my mind.
My only thing, though, is, Donnie, it matches up with the game spread of game 5. They have the Clippers as 2-point favorites in Denver, at least the last time I looked at.
Yeah, 1.5.
So, the series price matches the game spread. So now I think for you, it's like, okay, fine. So then the game spread is is tripping me up. I just think people believe the Clippers are way better. Like, I think that is the belief, is that the Clippers are significantly better than the Denver Nuggets, which is really interesting. I mean, it's been a pretty close series outside of one rout by the Clippers. But I don't know, if you play 4 games and 3 of them are as close as can be, I don't know why the route is the most important data point. Like, I don't like, they're the ones who can separate. Like, yeah, good for them. Yes. But we've seen over the course of this series, they actually can't separate from the Nuggets, and that the games are very, very close, and it's going to come down to the fourth quarter. That's what we've seen in this series. So I'm not running to bet Denver. I thought this series, but what's incredible, Donnie, is, you and I saw it the same. I know Coach did. One of those series where really from the outset, it's like, this is a long one. I didn't bet anything in 7. I didn't think there was a lot of value ultimately within those wagers. So we'll see. You know what I do have a bet on? I got kind of. What? They did a King of the Court on DraftKings for who will lead round number 1 in total points.
Wow.
That I used on Jokic because I was like, I think that series goes 7. If you kind of look around, all these series could be buttoning up tonight. Like, it might just be Jokic or Kawhi when it's all said and done.
It's a way to look at it here. 4 games tonight on the NBA card. More hot topics next as we close it down on Moneyline next.
Get the SportsGrid mobile app and you'll never be alone. Take the latest episodes of your favorite shows with you anywhere. This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
The new SportsGrid app is now available on iOS and the App Store. Experience the ultimate sports betting companion that provides personalized content from your favorite hosts. In-depth matchup previews, game and prop picks, live odds, stats, scores, and more. All in one place. And of course, on the SportsGrid app, you can tune into our live television and radio coverage anytime. On the go, wherever you are. Download the SportsGrid app on the iOS App Store now. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
For anyone who's worried about back taxes, has not filed tax returns, and doesn't know what to do next, stop and listen. Not filing your taxes can have severe consequences, especially in this political climate. Now that COVID is over, the IRS is getting aggressive, massively increasing enforcement and collection efforts. With politicians making all sorts of promises, especially when it comes to taxes, hiding and not dealing with your taxes will cause you harsh legal and financial ramifications. But right now, the IRS offers forgiveness and writes off a massive amount of tax debt. The Tax Doctor offers a free service that helps people get out of IRS collections and back in good standing with the government. Don't hide or bury your head in the sand. Take advantage of our free service. Call now to learn more. 800-816-4492. 800-816-4492. 800-816-4492. That's 800-816-4492.
Moneyline.
I like where Cleveland went here. Now you add the running game with Quinshon Judkins. You already got some solid wide receivers. I just thought it was interesting that Judkins went over Henderson. But Fannin Jr., you want to talk about a guy that doesn't block all that much? Neither does Njoku. You got 2 wide receivers at tight end with big bodies out there, baby. I love it.
Catch Moneyline with Donnie Rightside and Kevin Walsh. Weekdays, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific. On the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Searched. And now you found it.
A mostly peaceful oasis in the sports talk desert, where one multi-platform giant shines like a lighthouse on the calm ocean.
Nice metaphor.
That network
is SportsGrid.
This is the SportsGrid Radio Network.
Oh, yeah. Coming out of the NFL draft here, the true offseason in football as it sort of dies down. OTAs get brought up out there. You get the pictures of the new draft picks in cleats and shorts and how good they look and all the press junkets. We get that stuff. But also, we did have some news break this morning, Kevin, which was George Kittle signed the biggest tight end contract in the history of the NFL, by like $100,000, because why? He was next in line, and away we go. I don't care about George Kittle. I always knew the 49ers, when they said we like George Kittle, we're going to sign George Kittle. And when we sign George Kittle, he's going to be a high-paid tight end. We know that. Same thing they did with Bosa, when they did with Debo a couple of years ago, and Christian McCaffrey when they got him, re-upped him, and then re-upped him again. Because why? Those were the expectations. Good football players getting signed to big money. No issues from the organization, the player, the agent, or the fans. Hey, everything looks great. And now we're hearing that once Kittle got signed, now the 49ers are focused on signing Brock Purdy. And the initial reports from Ari Mirov and Dolph Kleiman, the aggregators out here, that he's looking at $50+ million contract wise. We'll see how high it goes. My question, Kevin, is not he is going to get signed by the 49ers. I don't think they're letting him go at this point. But again, I just get into he has one more year of his contract, and then he can be a free agent. Which then again, they probably would just hit him with the tag and try to negotiate again. What is the holdup so far? Because I was talking to Ben this morning saying this is probably, Kevin, the most intricate decision I've seen outside of Daniel Jones. And you might say, what do you mean Daniel Jones? The market value for the Giants of what they thought he meant to their franchise as opposed to everybody else, they didn't care about everybody else. He's so important to us. If nobody gives him $1, we think he's a $40 million quarterback. What's going on with Brock Purdy? What is it?
Would you allow me to derail the Purdy thing for a second to talk about the Kittle thing? Because I'm actually, I now find Kittle might be really annoying to me now. So Kittle gets his deal today, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Did you see Kittle tweet at Diana Rossini earlier this week?
No.
Did you see any of this?
Did not.
So Diana Rossini had a tweet that included George Kittle's absence is also contract-related, sources say. The two sides remain far apart.
Yep. Uh-huh.
He replies, your source is incorrect. Right? Here's the even better one. There then is a tweet from an NFL Rumors account.
Mm-hmm.
And the tweet says, tight end George Kittle reportedly wants to become the highest paid tight end in the league, which would mean surpassing $76 million deal. Kittle replies, your report is also wrong. And then this morning, he signs a 4-year, $76.4 million deal.
Correct. After he just missed OTAs.
If Kittle wants to say, look, he was trolling, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, I guess. I guess you could try and sell me on that's what was going on there. But to go out of your way to be like, liar, no, bad sources.
Stupidest thing ever.
And then literally do the exact thing they were reporting. That to me is really annoying. I really, really off-putting for me. Kittle, doing that. I don't know. It really bothered me.
Here's the funny part about it, too, because I like to be sarcastic a lot. So for me, which, again, if you're in the business, we always, the beat writers, man, you didn't ask Dable why he should have got fired. And they go, you come down here, sit in the first row, and call for his, being fired, and see how not only the rest of the press pool treats you, the way the organization treats you. You have to ask questions, but you can't be over the top. Meanwhile, fans want to be over the top. So for me, which not being in this situation, I would find that information out. Let's just say I had a connection with an agent. And I was like, you know what? I'm finally going to use this. My brother-in-law is the agent of George Kittle. He doesn't know me from it. And I tweet out, Kittle's going to be the highest paid tight end in football when it's all done. And Kittle retweets I don't know who this idiot is. He has no idea what he's talking about. So then when George Kittle signs it, I retweet George Kittle and go, I know more than George Kittle. Isn't that amazing? Ha, ha, ha. You know what I mean? Just to dig him again. Diana Rossini can't be like, that's why I trust sources, George, and I knew exactly the negotiations. Maybe you weren't informed of your own negotiations, but that's my job. She can't do that because you can't burn bridges with other athletes. But that's you're right. That's crazy talk that I want to be the highest paid. Oh, wow, look, you end up the highest paid. Was that
by 0.4?
Yes, correct. Which that was the sticking point was if it was $1 over 100,000, it's the same. Not $8 million, but they said, you know what? He has to be the highest paid. Show him respect. Here's the extra $100,000. There's your respect. Cool, done.
Yeah, again, maybe he was just trolling, but I just thought that was so ridiculous. Did George get the call from his agent, and today was like, no way! Oh, that's awesome! I had no idea.
Or no, get the call from him. I'm going to look so bad to Diana Rossini now that I'm the highest paid tight end in the history of football. Take that back. Minus $300,000 off that. Talk about, I told you I was never going to be the highest paid. George, you're under by $1. Yeah, I told you. That was never the game plan for me, the highest paid, but yes. you do get those interesting things. And that's what we do on Moneyline. Interesting topics all the way through the best hour of your day. Thanks for tuning in. For JP behind the wheels of steel, Kevin Walsh, and Donnie Rightside, I'll be back tomorrow. Solo mission? You guessed it.
Ask any woman and she'll tell you all
Very low.
are afraid of commitment.
There we go.
JP. Low on the back end right there. All right, look at that. A new show tonight. How you going to feel open up at 6:30? You going to say like the next 2 hours, next hour and a half?
Yeah.
Welcome
next
to 6:30.
hour. That's a good point.
The 6 o'clock hour starts right now at 6:30. I'm Kevin Walsh. It's game.
It's also, again, just like what's the most SportsGrid possible thing that could happen? An NBA playoff game begins at 6. Yep. We also might be live because he just said computer froze. So, hello, everyone. Goodbye, everyone.
Yeah. We're out of here.
Yeah.
Later.